Hey everybody, High Lord Tamerlane bringing you another Obscurity in Miniature. Today we're going to look at another Dark Age release that I've been sitting on for way too long. This is not a new release by any means, but it's still an interesting one. And hey, this is Obscurity's Miniature, so deal with it. Anyway, today we're going to look at the bounty hunters Phadras and Maximo. And in case you're not aware, these are actually based on the winners of a Dark Age tournament from way back when. A father who was immortalized with his son. And there they are. Let's see if we can open it in one hand. Now, obviously, if you're familiar with the game Dark Age, you'll notice that these are the very old cards. We don't use those anymore. I don't know if these guys have been translated into the more recent edition. If you're aware of that, maybe you can let me know in the comments below. Dumping parts. Oh, yeah. So what do we got today? We got Dad, who is quite the large techno-barbarian type with a big honking block of cement, it looks like, with nails stuck in it. Great. That's always fun. And the kid. Now, I can't help but think of God of War, and I know this predates it by quite a few years, but, you know, it's the first thing I think of. So we got our kid with the boomerang, which gives me shades of Mad Max. In his hand. So not too complicated, but Dad is quite the imposing post-apocalyptic warrior dude. He's got just straps of metal all over his belly there, all kinds of garbage hanging off him as is tradition with Dark Age figures. He's barefoot naturally. Maximo, let's see, you any better? Nope. Oh, well, you got shoes. I guess you've graduated to running around barefoot when you hit puberty and Samara, or whatever the planet was called, but got the usual pouches and doodads hanging off him. Extra arm, well, not extra arm, but his free hand, I guess, in the boomerang itself. Curious how that works. But you know what I'm even more curious about? How they look built. Why don't we do that? Let's put them together. Alright, so after a few little drops of glue, we've got Phadras and Maximo all finished. Phadras was a pretty simple build. Thankfully, it was just the pair of arms and his big, huge honking weapon that needed to be glued, and he actually pretty well was dry fit as it was, but I went ahead and just glued him on. He's on a 40mm base. I feel like he could probably fit on a 30 if I snip down that slot on the bottom of it, but I think we'll leave him just to be safe in case we ever get somebody else to finally succumb to playing a game of Dark Age. Maximo, one of my big pet peeves, he had super tiny connection points to get those tiny little baby childlike arms of his attached to his body. So you can see there's a bit of a gap there. That's going to have to get filled with some green stuff later on, and maybe another layer of super glue while I'm at it. But Maximo, you were the reason I really... No, not Maximo. Phadras, Big Daddy. You were the reason we got this. So, how do they compare, if you've never seen these guys, to the average Dark Age figure? If you're looking for junky post-apocalyptic guys, I mean, honestly and truly, the Dark Age line is your best friend. And get them while you still can, because the game seems to be languishing in developmental hell for the time being. So, we've got John Woe there. We've got Elijah... Was he a Prevailer, I believe? I don't remember, but you can see. So, yeah, Phadras is a little bit larger. Is this Saint Mark? I forget. It's one of the saints. But, yeah, you can see Maximo, you're in the way, as all children are. Now, I know the saint there with the hammer is jumping off the rock, but, I mean, he's a little bit taller than Phadras. Then again, Saint's wearing power armor. Oh, crap. And then just a Jagiri fire elemental just to give you guys a good sense of scale. So, yeah. Our buddy Phadras is pretty nice and chunky. His son Maximo, not so much. And our perennial GW Inquisitor, just to give you a good taste of what to expect. I honestly think that Phadras with a little bit of the right colored paint, you could probably stick him even in a Mordheim or Frostgrave warband. I mean, he's not overtly technological looking. I mean, that is probably a piece of concrete, but you paint it up like a slab of rock or something. I think he'll look just as effective. His son, Probably the same. I mean, other than the fact that he's not really wearing any kind of clothes, hey, throw him in a game of Frostgrave or Ghost Archipelago, and you're probably good to go. So I'm happy I found him. I wanted to get him for quite some time, and I did, and then I forgot about him for quite some time. So I figured with these videos, hey, it's a perfect time to pull them out. We'll put the names of the actual winners down there in the comments too, so we don't want to let them feel neglected. Anyway, that's enough from me. This has been High Lord Tamberlane in his usual obscurities and miniatures, saying a fond farewell to all of you viewers out there. Take care.